Doctor.
How
Good.
you doing today?
I know it's good morning where you are in. You are in Texas,
Yes, yes, yes,
Houston,
yes,
Texas. Okay,
yes.
I'm reaching you from London this afternoon.
Wow.
Okay. Um, I think let's shoot straight, and I
Yes,
have a couple of questions here for you. So
thank you.
I'm sure. I hope we will have enough time to cover them, while hopefully Mr. Maduka will be able to join us. On all your social media platforms, the current topic, I mean, you are very, very huge on social media. The topic is the acquisition of a $1.6 million office complex in Houston.
Yeah.
Why invest such a whooping sum of money on an office complex? What does it do for you?
Very good question. And by the way, thank you for having me on your platform. It's good to be here. This is the first time we're doing this actually. So, in many, many years we've known each other. So it's good to be here.
Thank you.
For us, is our expansion into the US is very huge. It's not a small. Thank God you were also around in January. Is a very huge expansion. Our drive is in the next 24 months. We're investing $200 million into the Texas market in terms of real estate, and it's important to also give people confidence because we've gotten feedback where people say, I hope it's not a case of they just run back to Nigeria. These people are known in Nigeria or Dubai, right? This so-called Ukraine thing, are you sure they're really going to be on ground? So we needed to show that it's not just a come go thing. We're fully on ground. We own our office space here. I just also bought a multi-million dollar property of my own here as well, where I live now. So it's the major confidence building structure. And the office even has a large expanse of land that we intend to build a larger office space that we rent out. Also, we're not occupying the entire place. We're inheriting a tenant. We're also turning it to a hub where there are a lot of people, for example, who are successful entrepreneurs across Africa, and just they don't need to get a big space, but particularly oil and gas. Houston is like the headquarters of oil and gas in America. There are a lot of oil and gas companies based in Nigeria that need where they can receive letters for them, receive information for them in Houston. So we're turning it to a hub where other people can also use it as their office address, and we're also able to make money from that. So it's not only just GTech that will be using the office space.
Okay. Some people are asking that is it that you've abandoned us finally in Nigeria and Africa?
Not at all. I mean, we're still very much present in Nigeria. In fact, this new month we are launching two new estates, one in Ibejuleki, 25 acre, another in Ijebu-Ode, and that's almost 100 acres. So we're still strong in Nigeria. Nigeria is still home. But as you know, diversification is very important. And I know you can relate to that. I mean, Ovation started in London. Ovation is still all over the world. So for us, it's a digital world, it's a global world. If you decide to just put your eggs in one economy, if anything shakes that economy, it messes you up totally. And with the decline in the strength of the naira, it's good if you are going to be a transgenerational company like we are trying to be. You have to be able to have sources of income from other economies. I mean, when we moved to Dubai 4 years ago now, it was similar as well. People thought we are going to stay in Dubai forever. No, it's just an expansion. And so here again, we're here in the US. Who knows? Australia, Dr. Cosmos prayed yesterday, and I heard him mention Australia, mention other countries. So who knows where next we're expanding to?
But don't you think investing in Africa, other parts of Africa, if you look at the United Bank for Africa, you look at the Dangote Group, you look at Globalcom, you look at, they've all invested at different times in Africa. So why America first and not Africa first?
Well, a good question. First of all, I mean, I did an African tour, and we're currently considering Ghana, Zambia, Tanzania, and Zimbabwe. However, we're also taking it gradual because I believe you were one of those I consulted with our African expansion, and you gave your counsel as well. So we're definitely expanding across Africa. Just that it's a gradual move. It's not something we should rush because let's be honest, Africa is very, very volatile for business. Anything can happen and shake you. So if you haven't invested in stabilizing very well in countries where the economy is more stable, the currency is more stable, you don't want to start gambling too much across Africa because the risks are real and the risks are there. So for us, is let's solidify our base internationally. Dubai is doing well. Now US is doing very well. Our growth is unprecedented. We did virtually 4 hours talk with Dr. Cosmos. 99-acre book share. We've since had acquired more assets than when you came in January. So we need to consolidate. After that, we can enter markets that also still risky.
Now, how is this new office and land acquisition going to impact the people who have already invested in your business in Nigeria?
Beautiful question. So I say this often that I strongly believe this move is actually ultimately in the interest of Nigeria. And what do I mean? Right now, and thank God you relate with a lot of real estate developers in Nigeria. You know that our biggest problem is liquidity. We are trying to do this construction project. We plan, for example, maybe 1 billion naira, we finish it. Before you say Jack Robinson, you need to be looking for 2.5 billion. Now, the banks are not helping in any way. Also, your investors, if you tell them, this 4-bedroom that I told you should pay 100 million, if you come back and meet them and say, well, price of cement has gone up, price of iron has gone up, it will now cost us 200 million. They will say you are 400, right? It becomes an EFCC case. Okay. So we then realized that we needed to consolidate in economies where there is access to liquidity. Every of our expansion now, we're only putting in 30%. We have institutional investors giving us the remaining 70%. So we believe that in the next 5 years to 10 years, we'll have multi-billion dollars worth of assets here in the US. We can now take loan against that and bring it to Nigeria and then start heavy expansion with all the lands we've acquired. As of today, GTS has acquired over 10,000 acres of land across different states in Nigeria. Now, to develop it the way we want to, because some want to put golf course, we want to put polo, the kind of money we need to do that, unfortunately, we don't yet have it. But it's something we can easily build confidence internationally and then be able to convince our international partners who are currently funding a lot of our deals now, and then convince them to say, partner with our expansion in Nigeria because they know we have assets here they can hold on to if anything goes wrong, right? They will be more confident to then partner with us as we expand what we are doing in Nigeria. So this ultimately will put us in a very strong position the next 5 years from now to expand aggressively across Africa. And that's the move, actually.
Now, doctor, how risky is your kind of business? I have a mortal fear for land grabbing. Mortal, I am paranoid. It's one of the reasons why in Lagos I've never bothered. I live in a flat. And, I look at your business and sometimes I wonder how you are able to cope, because it is the kind of thing that anything can go wrong. Omonile will come, Baba Onile will come. They can sell one land to 6 different people. So how have you been able to navigate your way through this labyrinth?
Very, very good question, sir. Very good question. It's been a tough one. I'm not even going to say it was an easy journey. It's been a tough one. But I will say that we have leveraged on wisdom of elders. I always say that when you combine the strength of the youth with the wisdom of elders, miracles happen. Like our land business now, the advisory board is chaired by the former IG of police, Dr. Michael Piro, right? He literally sits on, in fact, from land we are buying, he calls the sellers even before we pay money. And his support has helped. People like Femi Falana SAN has also been very helpful to our business, because he is the most senior of all the lawyers we work with. So we've leveraged on, partnering with people who are really ahead, who have, also risked their name, their reputation to help us in acquisition. And I won't say we still haven't had 1 or 2 issues, but it has reduced the challenges compared to others. But I agree with you. It's still a very tough business. It's not one of those easy business to do. But again, we're making do to the best of our abilities, and we thank God for those reputable people who have been helping.
Wow. Okay. The other thing I would like you to speak about is this idea of Global Wealth Festival. I think I participated in one in London, maybe last year. I think it was last year. Yes. And then, okay, the one I joined you also in Houston.
Yes.
I also joined you
You
in
also
Houston.
did the one in Nigeria, Civic Center.
That's true.
Yes,
Civic Center, I remember. That's the one my guru also spoke, Japheth Omojua.
Yes, Omojua.
Yes, I remember. I remember. Okay, so could you please tell us comprehensively what to expect of the Global Wealth Festival?
Thank you so much. So the Global Wealth Festival is an awakening event to encourage people of color to take the subject of wealth very seriously. And we have taken it big time diaspora, because we also realize that a lot of our people in diaspora are not thinking about wealth, business, investment. Many of us, we carry the mindset of, I want to be a professional. When Indians come to America or UK or Canada, they are thinking of owning a business, coming together, owning a business. When Pakistani come, that's the mindset. When Chinese man come, that's the mindset. When a Nigerian come, is how to be a doctor, a lawyer. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. We are literally the largest doctors now in America, and we've contributed to that. But we need to face the reality that America is a capitalist society. In other words, it favors entrepreneurs and investors. The system wants you to come and dare big things. That's how the system works. So, for example, Chase Bank, and all of the banks here are always writing me, they want to give us money for our real estate investment. But however, the same banks are not going to give you money to buy their own shares,
Mm.
right? They are not going to give you money to buy their own shares, but they are willing to give you money to invest in real estate, to invest in assets. So, what we are trying to use this conference to do is to awaken the mindset of our people to say entrepreneurship is golden, investment is golden, and we're bringing people who have done it to come and share their story. How have they been able to build their empire? What did they do? What are the challenges? What are the risk factors as well? Right? How do you build wealth? And we're looking at three layers of wealth creation: high risk, investment opportunities; mid risk investment opportunity; low risk investment opportunities. How do you get into them? And what are the processes? Because I believe so much, sir, that the revolution taking place globally with our Afrobeat music, the revolution taking place globally with our movies, the next place it needs to take place is with our businesses. That the world will soon start seeing African founded businesses take over the world. You know, uh, and we Nigerians will champion that cause. Where you see a man start a business in Nigeria, and then now he has offices in Dubai, has offices in UK, have offices in Canada, have offices in that's what we're trying to encourage and champion. Because I've always said it, you cannot end racism until you end poverty among people of color. Because it's always difficult for anybody to be racist to whoever pays their salary, whoever provided the job for them. So it's a movement. It's a movement to encourage our people into entrepreneurship, into investments, and we work so hard to bring people who have results. So it's not stories, it's not aspire to aspire. It's people who have done it, because you can't give what you don't have, to come and share how they've been able to do
Okay, fantastic. So why call it a festival and not a conference?
it. I love that question. I mean, we call it a festival because it's a celebration of who we are and what we are. A lot of time we've been demonized. When you say I'm from Nigeria, I'm from Africa, there's a red flag. Maybe you're a Yahoo Yahoo. Maybe you come from, but that's not who we are. And thank God you are an elder. We Even the so-called corruption, stealing, it was foreign to African culture. We learned it from from our colonial masters. We by our heritage, and I know you can speak more to that. Even me, I met a little of it. You are selling yam, you put the yam on the road, you write the amount there and put a paper to cover it. The buyer, I met this in Medjugorje. The buyer will put the amount, use the paper to cover it. You come back, you carry your money. That is the African culture. So it is a reincarnation of who we are, celebration of who we are, and encouraging ourselves into the future. And that's why it is festival. There's a lot of food, eating involved. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of networking with our people. So it's not just conference alone. There's so much excitement around it, and we've made sure we're bringing some of the finest. Teji Babyface and Maggie will be anchoring it. We have Dr. Cosmos will be there. We have Mr. Ravi and Manta. They're this Indian couple I just met. We've done a few business together, but their story is very inspiring, and they will be sharing their story of how they're building where they own over 12,000 acres of land in Texas alone. I mean, they will so inspire our people. We have several other speakers who are coming to speak on different aspects of wealth creation. It's really, really, I mean, you've been there, so you know how impactful it usually is.
Fantastic. Um, there must be certain challenges you want to address during this festival. Could you give me a breakdown of some of these challenges?
Well, one of it is, first of all, is working on our mindset as a people. Because one of the things I notice when it comes to the subject of money or wealth, we are scared of it. I don't know why.
I,
Mm, mm. I mean, I understand absolutely, and that's why I'm happy that I started young. You know, one of the blessing of youthfulness is that, and that's why I do a lot of conference and encourage young people. Your early years are the years to take risk. You know, by the time you get to a certain age, you now start slowing down. And maybe if you have children or you have younger employees, you push them to the risk taking. But for me, one of the blessings, I started business at the age of 18, you know, and I kept at it, kept at it, kept at it. Of course, I failed until I started winning. So I think the blessing of starting early, you know, is one thing that has helped. And that's part of what we're going to be addressing at the conference. You know, start early, you know, take risk. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is on the pathway to success. Failure is actually one of the signs that you're about to succeed. You know, because as you fail, you pick one or two lessons, you keep moving on. As long as you're consistent at it, you will eventually break through. And for us, that those are the core value that we're trying to help our people begin to pick up. Take risk, you know, go into entrepreneurship, invest a little bit. Yes, you will lose some money. I have lost so much money. Even in this Texas journey of expansion, I was telling somebody last night, I think if I am to count, at least I've lost $200,000 due to one issue or the other, even in the US, right? But the benefit is that if you don't stop and you keep getting mentorship professionals to work with you, what you will realize that your winning will overshadow your failure. So they will cancel each other out. You know, the things you are succeeding at will cancel out the few failures you're encountering. Yes, at the beginning, there will be more failures than successes, but at some point, there will now be more successes than failure. But ultimately, our people need to get used to risk taking. We need to begin to teach it if we want to encourage entrepreneurship spirit. Risk failure is normal. Taking risk is the only way to build wealth as an entrepreneur or to build wealth as an investor. For our young people, we have to preach that over and over again. And those in diaspora as well, because many of us are in countries, like I said, that are capitalists. The system only favors those who choose to be entrepreneurs. You know, I look at, I open account in the US. The first question they're asking me, how much loan do you want? You know, because the business. If it's as an individual, they will be telling me I need to qualify. They will give me a lot of rules before that. But as a business, they are open to say, hey, take money, go take risk. You know, you know how many times Elon Musk has been bailed out by America as a government because they felt, it's too big to fail. We, you know, he's a genius. We need to keep supporting his ideas. His ideas supports America. And we hope Africa will one day be like that, where even at the government level, there are cushioning effects to support entrepreneurs, to support startups, you know, so that because they expect you to fail here. Do you know in here in America, for example, if you have too much headache with your business, you can go to the court and say, I'm declaring bankruptcy. Anybody you owe can never come after you once you do that, because they separate the business from you, the person. And once you say, well, I tried the business, but it failed, or I have challenges, they let you go. So the system encourages risk taking.
Okay. Now I want us to spend a few seconds on the issue of credit system. What has been your experience in Nigeria? Because I always tell people that if I were the president of Nigeria, I will ensure that we negotiate with the banks in a way that, one, the interest rates will come down. We will have, for us to be able to rebuild our middle class, we will have to cut down on taxation and also the credit system. Imagine at my age, I'm a 64-year-old man. I can't just walk straight into a bank today and say, give me 2 million naira overdraft, just 2 million naira, which is less than 1,000 pounds. Whereas my bank in England or in America will be begging me, they can start at 3,000 pounds, which goes to almost how much in naira? Almost 10 million.
Yeah.
And that's an overdraft, not even a loan.
Yes.
Aha.
Yes.
If you have a proper collateral, you can get any loan you want because
Anything.
they know that you cannot remove your property. I'm sitting here now, there's no way I can carry this house to Nigeria. So
So
why can't Nigerian banks also take such risk? And it's not even a risk because for as long as the property is worth what you are asking for, or even much higher than that, then they should be able to give you a loan. Then with that, you can do a lot of startups, you can do a lot of things. But today, everything is cash and carry. If you have a job, even in Ghana, nearby Ghana, if you have a good job and your company can write that yes, your job is guaranteed, it's a permanent job, you can take a car loan, you can take out mortgages and things like that. But Nigeria, I don't know when we're going to get to that level. Maybe you'll be able to address that for
yes,
us.
sir. I mean, I've many media houses I go grant interview have asked those same question, and I've argued that is until we solve that problem, we cannot unlock the wealth in Nigeria. We can't. We have to understand that, for example, why must I need 100% of the money to buy a house in Nigeria? Why? If I am a citizen of Nigeria and I can prove it by just dropping 10%, particularly first time home buyer, if I drop 10% of that money, my bank, don't tell me mortgage bank, don't tell me mortgage bank. My bank that I do business with is supposed to be able to immediately release the 95% of the money for me to be able to buy my house. And if we can do that, CBN can guarantee this. I've said this many times. CBN can work with the commercial bank and say any of this loan that fails, right? You have the rights. If this person failed to pay their mortgage, take over the house and option it because they can't carry the house away. But we need the political will. We need the central bank to come in and be able to work with the commercial bank. Number one, once you drop 10%, you're a citizen of Nigeria, be able to pick up a house, right, to the degree of the 10% deposit that you drop. You have an NIN, we can identify you. Also, the issue of credit, and you are very right with this. Even this morning, I just got a pop-up on my bank app that one of my company is giving 1 million naira line of credit, $1 million line of credit. Now, how long have we been in America to be getting such? Right? So it helps you to be able to really, really expand and grow as long as you follow the rules. And these are the kind of things that is possible in Nigeria. The will, and I think that the problem is, and I've said it many times, when politicians take over power in Nigeria and many other African countries, they only bring in their cronies, their relatives, rather than bringing professionals to say you don't even need if you give me minister job now I cannot take, but you can say come and advise us in the area of real estate. I remember someone was asking me, do I know the Minister of Housing? With all that I do in Nigeria, I don't know him. If I see him, I don't. He has never reached out to the people, the stakeholder in the sector. But even this, I mean, you came for our conference in January. You saw how the congresswoman came. She reached out to us. We didn't go to her. She was going to say, oh, you people are doing something to add value. You know, she gave you an award in January as well. You know, Shirley Jackson. And even after the event, she was telling me, if I want government land in Texas, you know, in Houston, she's willing to facilitate that. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, politicians think that business people are their competitor. Unfortunately, that if you're a private businessman and you have too much money, you can come after them, you can challenge them. So intentionally, they want to crush you. They want you to be their puppet. They want you to be under them. And until we end this poverty politics and genuinely care about our people, genuinely begin to put system in place to unlock wealth, you know, for our people, we'll continue to struggle.
I don't know if we are able to reach uh, my dear brother, Mr. Maduka. Is there any way we can reach him?
Yes, I'm told that he should be here by now. So if you can search him, by the way, he's not, um, you know, social media, you know, we
Savvy,
have it
okay.
ahead. So
Okay.
he might have joined
Hey, I've
and may
been
not have
checking. I
sent
can't see him
request.
online. I've been
Because
checking.
my PA just stated that he's
And
about
then
to
I
join.
don't know what handle he will be using because he may need to follow me before I can bring him in. Okay, I've
Okay.
seen him here. I've seen him now. He's
Okay.
here. Let me see if he's able to join us. That is my own president. Hey, the president himself.
Then I've been listening to both of you. I've been requesting to join for quite
Oh, I
some
didn't
time now.
know, and I was searching for you
No,
up and down, sir.
I saw when you were screaming, and even before you asking the last question on bank reviews, that I've been. In fact, I
Oh,
came in as early as 9. I've been here in the last 15
oh,
minutes or so.
apologies.
No, it's
I'm
okay.
sure
I understand.
we got engrossed in our conversation.
No,
But how
yes,
are you,
yes.
sir?
I also enjoyed myself listening to Doc. Trying to break it down to where
Thank,
everybody will get to appreciate what's going on.
thank you, sir. You are the big boss.
No, no,
And when
no,
you
no,
speak,
not really,
even
Dele.
the
The
angels
boss
in
is
heaven
here.
listen when you speak.
we are where you left us. We couldn't be where we are without people like you. So we remain
Thank you.
grateful and loyal.
No, same here. You have been extremely kind to me, to my family, to the
Thank you.
Ovation family. You
Thank
are,
you. Thank you, Dele.
I call you one man riot squad.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So
Thank you,
good
my
to see
brother.
you in Houston. I am speaking to you from London. Uh,
Yeah.
as I round up today, it's a great honor for me to feature you and your godson because he regards you as a godfather.
Thank you.
And I always tell people that a successful man without successors
That's
is
right.
a useless man.
Absolutely.
God will never make you a useless man. So
That's
continue
right.
to mentor
Thank you.
us, and we shall continue to drink from your fountain of
Thank you.
knowledge. Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
Dele. Thank you.
Okay, can you, for the sake of our international audience, and you are reaching me now simultaneously on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter
Yeah.
Spaces. Is it
Okay.
at my age? I'm struggling with social media to make sure I maximize.
Yeah.
So, could you introduce yourself to us in a nutshell, how you got into business, the challenges? Let's
Okay.
just capture it as much as we can. I know
Okay.
that you'll be speaking more at the Global Wealth Festival, but let's give some snippets of your life.
Dele, thank you so much for living an empathic life. Since I've known you, you have always been willing to give out to see how you can impart life, because there are few people who understand truly what life is all about. That is not about the duration, but about the impartation. And recently, I have joined you. You know, I've been greatly inspired by you and Stephen Akentayo to use the rest of my life as a fertilizer to impart the upcoming generation. Because you said you are 64, 16 more years, you are 80. So what do we live here anymore but to see if we can catch a young man that is in his 25 or 20, 22, 28 to get it right, because you make yourself when you are young. 86% of successful people became between the age of 15 and 28. Statistics prove that. So if we can get them at this young age to understand what it takes to understand the principle of life and apply it in their life, by 40, 45, they will also have been able to arrive, and the rest of their journey will be cruising. Having said that, Dele, you know my humble beginning. Lost my father at the age of 4. Life threw everything at me to accept failure. I keep on telling people it's not what happened to you that matter, but what happens in you. Because everything you require to be successful is not outside of you, but in you. When God finished making a man, he said he was very good. The future of any seed is not ahead of him. The future of every seed is inside the seed. But you need a ground that is fertile, where you put that seed to germinate, then it will reproduce itself. So many times we meet challenges and problems in our life, but they are only an incubator to get what is in us out if we can respond appropriately. That hardship and difficulties prepared me for who I later became in life, because by the age of 7, 8, tender age, I've started making decisions for myself. And like everything in life, if you drive a bicycle, you fall, you get up and drive it again. You only learn by practice, making you perfect. It's not about applying, but about application. It's not about application, but practicing lifestyle constantly. So I listened to some of the things Dr. Stephen has said, and I was reading somebody saying, oh, we are dishonest in Nigeria. No, it's not about our dishonesty. It's about having a system that works. Because if the government can sanitize the judiciary system, but they are not interested for the judiciary system to be, sanitized because they use it. It is in their own interest that it's not what is supposed to be elsewhere. Dele, you live in UK, travel any other place in the world. When you take a property and you don't pay your mortgage, they can foreclose you any day, and you don't need to go to court. They don't need to go and get injunction to keep the landlord not to inject you. You are on the street the following day, no matter whatever you think it is. So it makes people become responsible, willing to take decision, living within their means. If the system are not functioning here, you will see the same animalistic tendency that is in some Nigerians operate also here. People here are playing by the rule because they know the law is strong. There is an enforcement, and you cannot say you have connection and it makes you get away from disobeying the rule. So it makes life seamlessly and easy for everybody. The banks in Nigeria have to go extra mile, make you to get your grandfather, your great-grandmother, your children in your womb to collateralize everything, because they know by the rule of Nigeria you can easily escape them, and they are left on themselves alone, and they will be penalized even for giving you money by the central bank. So it's a chain of reaction. If we can fix the judiciary system and really be willing to play by the rules, starting from the leader. Fish only spoil from the head. So if you are willing to do that, the whole country will be fixed overnight, and then we will unlock the things we are saying. After some few things that we have seen happen, the young people have just thrown towel, which I still encourage them. Please don't throw towel, because an average young Nigeria today, only thing that is in his mind is, how can I get visa and travel out? They have lost total faith and confidence in the country and the system where they belong. But I also let people know that changing location does not make you wealth. Okay, it's not about where you are. If you can succeed in Nigeria, Stephen has operated in Nigeria and coming to United States. The experiences he had in Nigeria is a big university that there's no reason why he should not succeed here. I started in Nigeria. I'm doing business in Ghana. I'm doing business in Ivory Coast. I'm doing business in Gabon. I'm doing business in Liberia. I'm doing business in Zimbabwe. I have an operating office in Japan, functioning. I earn salary in Japan today, but I started in Nigeria. Nigeria is a university of anything. If you can succeed in Nigeria, there's nowhere you cannot succeed. So I tell them, don't deprive yourself of this university. Go through it. God help you. You cannot be able to totally unlock wealth to certain level because it's a function of the system. But the experience you have gathered there can take you to any other place where you want to be in the world. So I have a humble beginning. Most of the people listening to me through your channel today have a better opportunity to be successful than myself. I didn't have education, not because I'm not intelligent, but because I lost my dad and nobody was to pay for my school fees. So by the age of 9, I'm already on the street, hustling, working for my mother. From working for my mother, I went to do apprenticeship for my uncle, where I was taught the rudiment of running business. I worked for 5.5 years without earning salary. My uncle fed me and clothed me. But the problem we have with our young people is that we're so much in a hurry today that nobody wants to pay his dues. Nobody wants to be mentored. Nobody wants to follow the system and processes. Nobody wants to go through apprenticeship to be taught what needs to be done. Because we have gone to university, we believe university has given us all the knowledge, but the real true school of life, many of us are not willing to go through it to be able to learn what will help us to unlock the world and prepare us for greater future. So many young people cannot defer their gratification. They want it instant now. Today, if they come to work for you, they just see the cover of a page before they haven't seen even the introductory part. They believe they got it all. They jump out to compete you. It doesn't happen like that. You must learn to be mentored. You must learn to be, go through some level of apprenticeship in life, because those schools for me is knowledge. The knowledge you have for what you want to do is more important than the cash or capital you have. In business terminology, we usually say he learned in a hard way. Learning in hard way is that your school fees is too expensive. Things you needed to have known by apprenticeship, you take a capital, you blow that capital because you have not managed it well, because you have not learned the secret in the enterprise that you are going into. So that mentorship is a big equation in success in life. We Igbo people have apprenticeship system where you have to work for somebody for 5 or 6 years, depending on what is agreed. Nobody pay you salary for that number of years. It's like your salary is being saved for you. By the time you graduate after 6 years, your boss will pay for your stuff for 2 years, give you capital and merchandise for you to start your own business. There is no better way of setting people up but through this system. But there are not many young people who are willing to go through this apprenticeship system. He wants immediate salary of 150,000 naira because he wants to buy the next famous phone. He wants to go to a movie. And therefore, you are not preparing for future. Life is about sowing and reaping. If you sow a seed, then you will be looking for harvest. If you have never planted anything, why are you looking for harvest? If you enter in somebody's farm to harvest, you will be caught as a thief because you did not plant the seed that you want to harvest. So life is about teaching our children to learn there's going to be a planting season for there to be a harvest season. If you never plant at all, forget about harvest because you will be hungry during the harvest season. So I went through this system. In 1976, my uncle counted 200 naira and gave me, which is some money. 200 naira of 1976 is like 400 United States dollar. Naira was equal to pounds. 1 naira is $1.88. But still it's a small money because he didn't pay for store. But I have a mindset to succeed. I looked at my uncle and I told him, I work for you hard. Why do you give me 200 naira? What do I do with it? He said, whatever you want to do, do. And that's why I keep on saying, what happened to you is not important, but what happened in you. Because I have the mindset to succeed. My excitement is that I am no more under anybody's tutorage from today. My destiny is in my hand. I will do with my life what I want to do. My uncle was confused. Why am I excited? My excitement is that today I'm going to begin to apply everything that I've learned. And while I was working for him, I did the research, not in informal way they do the university, but I did research in informal way. I was able to know what is in Mercedes that fit in Volkswagen. I was able to know what is in Volkswagen that can work in Peugeot. Those are social capital. Those are knowledge that you have acquired, that if you harness, you can turn them into cash. I was able to know, like the young man wrote here while Stephen was talking. I saw a young man siding here. We are very dishonest. I knew that character and integrity is one of the most scarce commodity in Nigeria, and that if you want to make profit in life, you need to look for scarce commodity, things that are not available, so you can place your price on it. So I knew if I'm also going to survive, that this scarce commodity that is not available in Nigeria will help to transport me to where I want to be. So one of my watchwords is integrity, to always over-deliver and under-promise. If you give me appointment, I know I will meet you by 1. I'll tell you, Dele, can we see by 2:30 or 3? I will factor in traffic. I will factor in everything. By 12:58, I will knock at your door. And if you do that in a constant basis, like I said, not apply, but practice, lifestyle, not a life, but lifestyle. Next time, you Dele, without me telling another person, will say, if Dr. Maduka give you appointment for 11, please be there for 11, because he will be there. And I used this. It went out. The bankers knew about it. My business colleagues knew about it. Like I said, I went through University of Life. I learned this from Japanese. Church didn't taught me this, because many church don't keep their time. But Japanese keep time, and they are not religious people. If they make appointment with you, they are there several minutes before the time at that Caprica time. So I harness all of these good things I've said and put it into practice. And today, by the grace of God, we are working with first-class institutions of the world. BMW signed me on, Jaguar Land Rover signed me on, Rolls-Royce signed us on. We manage Renault. We work with Ford Motor Company. Today we assemble Ford. We assemble Renault in Nigeria. We also assemble Geely, a Chinese brand that we have taken. We've gone into value chain agriculture, 3,000 hectares of land where we plant rice, harvest rice, mill rice, and sell rice. Today, Koshadis have a technology company called Koshadis Technology, where we also have academy, and we have, different businesses, Koshadis Medical, Swiss, Swiss Biostart, different kind of businesses that we have been able to create today. And that's the humble beginning I have, and that is the success that we've been able to achieve. So my good friend Steven had called me to be here. I'm live here in Houston to share this little information and secret how to unlock wealth. Because life is about finding a secret, knowing that life is controlled by law. Both of us are sitting down today, wherever we are, because we are under the atmosphere of gravity. If we go beyond the sound barrier, we will be floating. So if we understand the law that operates in this atmosphere, we will get a result. But when we are here having a wishful thinking and refuse to play by the rule, very many of us will never get to where we want to be in life. And that's my humble beginning, and that's my story, Dele.
Thank you, sir. Before I let you go, because I don't want you to have the conference or the festival on my account today. There'll be nothing left tomorrow. But I want to ask you one thing. You've made too much money and you are making much more. You are not tired of making money. How do you enjoy it? Because I see you preaching on the street. Yeah. So how do you enjoy this?
Dele, that preaching on the street is part of the enjoyment, because I am trying to tell young people, this is the key. This is what gave me the discipline to get to where I am. If you follow this route, if you are willing to pay the price. But the truth is that many of us don't like this word, paying the price. But the truth is that, Dele, if you are jumping up, you are paying a price. If you are running, you are paying a price. But if you sit one place, you do not know, you are paying a greater price than those people jumping and running. The worst thing any man or woman can do to himself is to do nothing.
Wow. No, I'm reading the comments and people are enjoying you on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter Spaces. And I want to assure you that very soon you will get an invitation to come and preach at the Dele Momodu Leadership Center in Ibadan.
I will be the pressure is mine, Dele.
Thank you, sir.
Anytime. Any day, anytime.
No, I feel like I shouldn't let you go at all today, but I know Dr. Stephen will fight.
I will be grateful to teach the young people not to get to the door and start speaking in tongue. When you get to the door and start speaking in tongue, it's evidence you didn't have the correct key. If you have the key, you will put it and that door will submit to you and you will pass. And there are keys to life that you need to learn to open the door to the good success, because everything is written, but it's like coded. If you find the right key, that door will submit to you.
Wow. If you have faith, you will move mountains.
Yes, sir.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dele.
And may you live long. Amen. We need your wisdom for a very long time to come. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Have a beautiful day in Houston. Doctor,
bye-bye.
Always a pleasure. We thank God Almighty. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.